But in this particular instance, when we're talking about Shohei Ohtani, it's a different animal because it's a bit extreme in terms of the level of secrecy that he engages in. When you're looking to go to potentially another team, okay, and you have these kind of stipulations where somebody literally has to be guarded about acknowledging that they met you for breakfast or lunch. Well, if you capitulate to those kind of things, well, you're at the mercy of that player once he ultimately arrives. Because if he's that extreme walking into the door, you think he's going to lighten up once he arrives? That's the way that I'm looking at it. So it's problematic. Then I got to take into consideration, what are you worth? Okay. So when you win, that's a different animal. Okay. Because I talk about winning all the time. I believe in winning. I think it's a priority. I think it's important. Okay. This man has never played in the postseason. They haven't been to the postseason in 8 years. They've had one postseason appearance in the last 13 years as a franchise. And oh, by the way, all 8 years that they missed the postseason, they didn't have a winning record one of those times. 8 consecutive losing seasons, not just missing the playoffs, losing seasons, meaning you lost more games than you actually won. And so as great as he may be, what does that materialize into in the sport of Major League Baseball? For the Angels, it's been close to nothing. And so when I look at other teams and I see the Atlantas of the world and the Phillies of the world and the Houstons of the world and Texases of the world and others, and I see the accumulation of personnel that they have, team chemistry and everything that comes with it, okay, that doesn't require nearly as much in order to enjoy a significantly more level of success. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm going to pay you $600 million. You can't even play next season. I don't know how healthy you're going to be after that. And on top of it all, before you even walk in here, you got these kinds of stipulations where you're putting a muzzle on me and I'm the one who potentially will be paying you. You must have lost your ever-loving mind. That's the way I look at it. And I totally agree with you, doggy. As great as he is, as phenomenal as he is, and there's no disputing that, I don't think you're worth it when you are acting like
Jet,
that.
what about Shohei? What's going on there? What's anything new?
We're not allowed to
what
talk
does
about
it look like?
Can't talk.
What would you predict, Jet?
We are on Shohei watch right now because I think sometime in the next probably 96 hours or so, we're going to have a much better sense of where Shohei Ohtani is going to wind up. And look, the favorites from the beginning, AJ, have been the Los Angeles Dodgers. This is a team that every year goes out and spends $250+ million on payroll, has been over $300 million in the past, and needs a guy like that. Ohtani is familiar with Southern California, having spent the first 6 seasons of his career with the Los Angeles Angels. The interesting thing, though, is what the Toronto Blue Jays have done. The Blue Jays, out of nowhere, have made a really strong run at Ohtani. And I'm not sure if they're considered the favorites at this point because this whole thing has been under a shroud of secrecy. And, you know, Dave Roberts, the Dodgers manager, acknowledged a couple days ago that the Dodgers had met with Ohtani. And, like, pearls were being clutched everywhere because, frankly, Ohtani and his camp went to everyone before the process started and said, we don't want any leaks. We don't want this in the media. We want no acknowledgement that this historic free agency is happening right now, which I think is honestly understandable, but kind of a ridiculous conceit because baseball needs all the help and all the love it can get. And I know Shohei Ohtani provides that on the field, but just imagine if this thing had turned into not even a circus. Imagine if Ohtani showed up to a ballpark or showed up to a meeting and took a picture and put it on Instagram. There's like no responsibility for that. But you 100% would. You know, okay, where's Shohei today? He's in LA. He's in Toronto. He's in San Francisco. He's in Chicago. He's going all over the place. He's meeting with these people. You just have to have a caption that says, you know, if you're at Dodger Stadium, I would love to have a Dodger.
The latest with Shohei Ohtani and his decision on where he will play next.
Shay, it looks like the Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes may be winding down. Teams that are involved are believing at this point that there could be some kind of a decision toward the end of the week. But of course, there's the all-important physical. Let's remember Shohei Ohtani just had surgery on his elbow, the second time he's had surgery on it in the last 5 years. So medical concerns are very real, but an answer early next week is looking likely. What we do know at this point is the number. It's going to be enormous, and it's not just going to be above $500 million. It's likely going to be in excess of $550 million, and we may see a $600 million player, and whether that's the Los Angeles Dodgers, the San Francisco Giants, the Chicago Cubs are looking a little more on the periphery at this point, as ESPN's Jesse Rogers reported earlier today. And, the Los Angeles Angels, of course. The Toronto Blue Jays, though, are the interesting team that's lurking here. They want Shohei Ohtani. The question all of the teams are asking themselves, does he want us?